The Illini coast to a 6-1 record, and Mihailo Petrovic, welcome to the Illini.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome welcome all to another edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen every day and for making the Locked On Sports Network the #1 network in the country. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. My name is Sonny Verma, your host here at Locked On, where I continue to provide you coverage each and every day. Everything you see and hear is absolutely free. The only thing I ask for in return is, if you don't mind, if you're already here, if you're watching me live, hit that like button. What that does is it sends this show to other Illini fans out there who may not know we exist. Let's continue to build on this community. Speaking of building, Illinois continues to build bricks when it comes to some of their shooting. An off game. I know a lot of the folks in the Talk Illini Discord are a little more perturbed with the performance by the Illini today. Me, not so much. I think I saw in the first maybe 3-4 minutes that Brad Underwood was not going to show anything today. Brad understands that this is the final tune-up game before we play UConn on Friday. UConn's going to come into Madison Square Garden ready, and you don't want to give Dan any more tape than you necessarily need to. It was a very vanilla offense to me. It was just, rolling the ball out there and be like, hey, our 5 guys are better than their 5 guys. Just go have a higher final score than they do. And that's kind of what I saw today. I mean, there's some concerns, don't get me wrong. Defensively, what was his name? Vaqueros? I think that's his name. He was really taking it to what's his name? Sorry. Kai Dixon. And there's just one other guy, I can't recall his name off the top of my head, who was really taking it to Illinois today. But you know what I do? Before I get to talking about Illinois, I really like this UTRGV team. I mean, whoever their coach is, applause to you. That team never gave up. And that team was super feisty. That's the kind of team that Illinois should be scheduling in their non-conference. Like, let's be honest. Long Island was kind of a waste of time. That game was never even close. They won by 40. They could have easily won by 60 had they played a B plus A minus game. This UTRGV team, despite Illinois probably playing a B minus game again, they always kept it somewhat close. Like, they hovered in the double-digit range. So, we're going to talk about Illinois, of course, but I want to give props to that basketball team. They made a fan out of me tonight, at the very least. By the way, we have almost 50 of you in here. Thank you so much. Let me know in the comment section who your MVP of this game is. If you're one of my everydayers, I think you kind of know where I'm going to be going in that direction. Hashtag validation. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, yeah, when it comes to the overall performance today of Illinois, I'm feeling optimistic because I think it's clear now we've added another weapon to the arsenal on this basketball team. Mihailo Petrovic, I usually get to this in the second segment. It doesn't matter. There's no way to talk about this game and not talk about Mihailo. So let's just go ahead and do that. Mihailo, again, proved that any given night, this team can have a different best player. It wasn't like last year's team, and it has been even 2 years ago, where you knew it would be either Terrence most nights, and then you'd have Marcus Damask. This is a team that, on a given night, you can have one of 5, 6 different guys who end up being your best player. And I understand the competition wasn't all that great, but we saw what the teammates looked like, right? We still saw a glimpse of what Mihailo Petrovic does for this team. He's different. I've said this since the offseason. My everydayers in here, please, confirm for me in the chat that I've been saying this. That since the offseason, I've said he's our best point guard. He's the first guy who, when he has the ball, his first thing on his mind is, how do I set my teammates up for an open score? I'm not saying he's better than Boswell. I'm not even saying he's better than Keaton Wahlberg. But what I'm saying is, for the role of a natural point guard, we haven't had a natural point guard like this since when? Certainly not last year, because Kasparis was shooting first. The Elite 8 team didn't have a natural point guard. Marcus Domaski essentially had to play point guard. It's been years since we've had a point guard as good as Mihailo is. And now this is his third game, but you're kind of seeing, like, he was faster today. He was quicker today. And that was the purpose of these two games, right? I mean, it's unfortunate that he along with other players on the team, missed so much action over the summer and the early part of this year. But if you're talking about certain things that did end up working out for you, it's that Mihailo got a little run against Alabama, looked decent, and then he got to play against Long Island, and then he got to play on Monday evening. And on Monday evening, again, you really caught a glimpse of what he can do for you. This offense, when it's on, is one of the top 5 best offenses in the country. But when the shots aren't falling, you need someone who can set up an open shot for you or set you up to a dunk or a layup. And Mihailo can do that. So in a lot of ways, this is my line of thinking. Again, these are my live post games. Guys, if you're here for the first time, I do this after every basketball game and every football game. For 24 hours, we're allowed to say whatever we want. No one's going to hold you to it. It could be a therapy sessions on some days, like it was on Saturday. By the way, I appreciate all of you who gave me feedback on that Wisconsin postgame. Or it can be like today, where we all just kind of celebrate together. But Mihailo's just one of those guys where when the offense is stagnant, he's fast, he's quick, and he can set up easy buckets for his teammates. And I think this team needs that. Like, I know Stojakovic does it in the sense where, Mihailo to be effective needs the ball. And Andrej Stojakovic to be effective needs the ball. But when Mihailo has the ball, it's because he's running towards the rim and he's going to set somebody else up. My issue is a little bit with Andrej, again, who I'll get to this more in the second segment, had a fantastic game. The quietest 24 points that you can imagine. I can only remember maybe 3 made baskets of his, but finished 11 for 17 today. So this is not in any sort of way hating on Andrej Stojakovic. But the difference between the two is Andrej, when he gets the ball and he attacks the rim, it's going up. When Mihailo attacks the rim, he's looking to find one of the 4 other guys. Today he ended up with 4 assists, but it was a joke in the Talk Illini Discord about how many assists he should have had. How many times did his teammates miss wide open shots? He could have easily had at least double-figure assists, and that's without me even watching this game a second time. But if that doesn't make you feel better about just how deep this team is. Now, I know a lot of you, and maybe you were already saying this in the comments section, and I understand. Don't get me wrong. The Discord was not very happy with this game. Maybe you guys aren't very happy with the effort in this game. We're 33-point favorites, and we only won by 14. I get it. And you have every right to be. But there was no point in this game where I was ever concerned that the game would get away. I think someone mentioned the Discord that Illinois fell from 8 to 13 in the KenPom. So, I mean, that isn't ideal. That isn't great. But, I also joke around. This team today somehow finished 50% from the field. 30 of 60. From three-point land, however, 8 of 30. Brick City. Again, a team that's going to be relying so much on three-pointers. That's not what you want to see. Our opponents tonight went 11 for 26. They shot 42% from 3, whereas we shot 26.7%. But here's where I spin things around. Here's where I try to be Mr. Optimist again. And of course, this is very tongue-in-cheek. Understand that. When's the last time we had 2 hot shooting games in a row? If we shot 58% from the field today and 40% from three-point land, wouldn't you be a little bit concerned that the law of averages would come, and that means we're in for a stinker against UConn on Friday. Maybe now that we've had the stinker, that means shots are going to start falling at Madison Square Garden on Friday. So you tell me what you think of that spin. But just overall, it's funny. Just there's nothing exciting about this game outside Mihailo. And yet, this team scored 87 points. This team has scored 80-plus points in the first 7 games this season, which is the first time that's happened since literally the Flying Illini. Even on their bad days, this team gets you buckets. And so in a lot of ways, it's nice that you can outscore a lot of the average teams on your schedule. You can't rely on that. And certainly when you play a game against Purdue or Michigan or one of the other top teams, that's going to be a struggle. But it's nice to see your baseline higher than it needs to be. It gives you more room to have days where the effort maybe isn't there. Not that you want it. But you know what? Brad Underwood addressed this in the postgame, and I'm going to talk about that right after this. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who'll score next to any fourth quarter comeback. Plus, you can even combine your live plays into a same game parlay for a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, no matter if your team's winning or they're losing. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, welcome back. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button on this particular video. At the end of the game, Brad Underwood, a guy who isn't shy to mince words. I think he used the scientific term, we played like doo-doo. We looked like doo-doo today. That the defensive effort just wasn't there. And that makes it 2 games in a row. Because he called out the offense after the last game as well. So he's going to be on this team over the next 3 days, going over the tape from Long Island and Monday evening's game. And discuss, hey, that effort means you're going to get 30-pieced by UConn again. So Brad Underwood, a guy who tends to use hyperbole, tends to exaggerate a little bit, he's on it. And I think those of you who are concerned about the performance today, I hope that makes you feel a little bit better. It does for me, because it's not, Brad wasn't making excuses for his team. He wasn't saying, the other squad was just hitting shots and, we put up a good effort out there. No, they didn't really. Brad simply agreed with all the detractors. Like, yeah, no, we stunk out there. And that's what you want to take from these bye games. You're going to win. And even today, the score might be closer than I wanted to, but I was never doubting whether we were going to win. But you want to take lessons. Against Long Island, it was the last 10 minutes of the game where the defense just seemed to fall apart. Today, I don't even know if it was that much. I think defensively, this team struggles getting around ball screens. And maybe I'll watch this game again to validate, to confirm at least what I'm saying. But I think the defensive effort, for the most part, it's just not going to be a great defensive team. What we want is to be an average, maybe above average team. Kylan, we know, is a good defender. Stojakovic is an average to above average defender. Keaton Wagler, I think, is average to above average defender. You have those 3 key guys. And then, for the most part, you surround them with guys who you just want to be in the right place where they need to be and not make mistakes. Let's go over some of these box scores. Again, Andrei Stojakovic in 31 minutes scored 24 points, 6 rebounds. David Mirkovic, probably his quietest game he's had in a while. 22 minutes, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Kylan Boswell, I don't know if it's a concerted plan for Kylan Boswell against the bad teams to just not try all that often, at least on the offensive side. I liked how feisty he was on defense. But tell me if I'm wrong. The games where Kylan really stood out were the Alabama game, the Texas Tech game. Today, in 25 minutes, he had 6 points, 1 of 5 from the field. He made all 4 of his free throws, 3 assists, and he had 4 fouls. Tommy, who I'm going to talk about in a second as well, 22 minutes, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Are we at the point now where we're going to be worried about Tomislav Ivičić? Because Tommy looked better, and he has looked better. So maybe that's a positive sign. He's gotten better the 3 games he's been back. But this is not the Ivičić I saw last year. I think that's pretty clear. He's not playing at the same speed, and more so defensively is what bothers me. Today it happened as well. Guys are grabbing rebounds from him. Guys that are smaller than him are grabbing rebounds from him. And that tells me that, I know we've talked about conditioning being the reason that he's not fully healthy yet, but his strength is not there. And it's hard for me sitting here at my desk, talking to a camera, questioning a college basketball athlete's conditioning. But I mean, if you're hurt for 2-3 weeks, are you just sitting around doing nothing? And I say this, of course, just hypothetically, like just almost tongue in cheek. Like, how out of shape can you be in just a couple weeks' time? Because he's starting to look sluggish. And now, like I said, that was my number one key in the preview show today. I wanted to see Tommy continue to level up, continue to get better. And quite honestly, the box score is okay, right? 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. That part is fine. But I don't think he's passing the eye test yet. His brother, Zvonimir, had 10 points in 18 minutes. He had 7 rebounds and a block. And I'm just going to throw something out there. Do not yell at me. This is the live postgame, this is where we're allowed to say silly things if we want to. But against a UConn team, tell me that Zvonimir is not the better starting center option, or he's not going to start over Tommy, but the better option playing the 5, the way Big Z is playing compared to Tommy. I'm not saying long-term. I don't accept any sort of Tommy hate on this show. I'm a big Tommy guy. But right now, to maximize Illinois' chances of winning on Friday, I almost think that Zvonimir might be the guy who should be playing more of the minutes because he can deter shots, right? Tommy's strengths are he's such an offensive weapon. You can give him the ball at the top of the key, and he can find the guy who's cutting. He can find the open man. He can put his head down, go to the rim, shoot it, or dish it out. But this team has like 3 of those guys. On this team, you have a guy like Mihailo Petrovic that can do it. Kylan Boswell can do it. Keaton Wagler has been doing it. So that necessary skill set isn't as valued, is not the right way to put it. Isn't as important because other guys can do it. But when Tommy's not playing at 100%, which he clearly is not, what Big Z offers, the ability that if he's shooting from 3, you can think it's going to go in. I mean, today he was 2 for 4. I'm shocked he was 2 for 4. I'm not going to lie. I looked over here right now saying he was 2 for 4. I thought he was like 2 for 7, 2 for 8. But Big Z, he can deter you on the defensive end. Like, he's going to make any player think twice attacking the rim because Z can get a hand on it. But also on offense, he can hang out at the 3-point line and help you with the 5 out. Right now, I just don't know if Dan Hurley is watching Tomislav Ivičić tape and he's all that concerned. I don't think he's got the game plan for, like, if I'm Dan, I'm going to be like, hey, shut down Andrej, shut down David, and make Tommy beat you. Because I don't know if this year, right now, that Tommy can. Those are my thoughts. I've got a lot of things on my mind. I was talking about in the Talk Illini Discord too. What our best lineup is. Our best lineup, I'm just going to be honest, might not have might not have Tommy and Andres in the starting lineup. I'm not saying I keep sounding like an Andres hater, and I'm not. Not at all. He's the best scorer on this team. The team just looks different when he's on the court as opposed to when he's off. And I look silly. I look like a bum sitting here saying this after last game where he was, 11 for 15. And today, Andres, 11 for 17. But I hope you guys get it. Like, when Andres is not on the floor, everyone is passing the ball, and the shot almost always results in a layup or an open three-pointer. Whether the three-pointer goes in or not, of course, that's different. But when Andres is on the court, the style is just different. And again, I'm talking, but I have no resolution to this. Unless, maybe I'll have to say that for a future episode. I imagine the scenario where, if I had to guess, a Mihailo, Boswell, Wagler, Merkovich, and Big Z lineup, offensively, the ball would be moving constantly. The defense would not have one guy to guard. They'd have to guard all five. Whereas now, when Andres has the ball, he's going to shoot it. And if Tommy has the ball right now, you want to let him have the ball because you don't know what he's capable of doing yet. All right. Let's get to some of your thoughts right after this. All right, once again, I appreciate all of you guys joining me. This is the second episode today. If this is the first time you're joining us, welcome to Locked On Illini. Illini 321 says, a couple thoughts I have. Defense has to step up. Effort was horrendous tonight. Offensively, why are they not posting Tommy down low? He has a great soft touch around the basket. Peak Tommy does. I agree with you. But I just don't know if he's got the strength right now, to be honest. Jason says, a win is a win. William Cash says, where's the fire in the belly? I know it's hard to play in front of a small crowd, but still, yeah. Where the students not there, it's holiday week, right? So they're probably not there. The crush wasn't there. So, I mean, I'm not making excuses, but we have to keep that sort of thing in context. Line follows up. Also, Kylan, Andres, and Wagler have to drive more to the basket. All three are capable. Andres did a nice job, but some more drives from the other two would help the offense. Yeah, I still think, and I have no insight on this. This is just my own eyes. Kylan, against in these bye games, just kind of takes it easy. I think he's more so, I want to conserve my energy, save my energy for the big boys. And we'll see. We'll see what happens Friday. If Kylan has another big game, then quite honestly, I think I might be onto something. But the other two, Keaton, he didn't have he was awful shooting today. Yeah, only 8 points. I'm saying that, and it's true. Keaton had one of his worst games of the season. 30 minutes, 8 points, 2 of 11 from shooting, 1 of 6 from three-point land, made only 3 of 5 free throws. And yet, Keaton Wagler, a freshman, composite 150, had a bad game today, finished with the line of 8 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and second highest in plus-minus today. He was a plus 18 on the court today, behind only Zavonimir, who was a plus 20. This is what I mean. This is why I know some people are getting tired of hearing about the ceiling, and it's almost like an inside joke. But when I say this team is deep, this team is really, really deep. Illini 321 says, happy Thanksgiving to fellow Illini fans. Let's beat UConn on Friday. William also says, I'm afraid we're going to revert to the three-point debacle that was last year. I don't want to see that again. I mean, it depends what you mean by that. If you mean that you think you're afraid this team's going to shoot a lot of three-pointers, well, then, yeah, they are. But everybody does. Everybody shoots a lot of three-pointers now, and this system is designed for it. Now, you hope they're not going to shoot 26% from the field in games moving forward, and that I get your concern on, but the over-reliance on three-point shots, it's by design. Brad Underwood, and more so Tyler Underwood, has built this into an NBA offense. There's 2 shots you need to be looking for. A layup, or B, a wide-open three-point shot. Or C would be getting contact and going to the free throw line. Those are the only 3 goals of this offense. Every play down. Get a layup, shoot a wide open three, or get fouled and get to the line. And that's why this team has scored 80 plus points in 7 games this year, even in games where we look like the effort isn't there, like they're sleepwalking. They walked to 87 points today. Linus says, nice game by Petro. Jason, good friend, says, I know a lot hate on Ben, but I like the change in him rebounding and doing the dirty stuff. Yeah, with Ben Humrickhouse, it's just one of those things. I think a lot of people have PTSD from last year, and they're not able to view Ben through a different lens anymore. Ben is a way better player than he was last year. This year, he's attacking the glass. He's not just boxing out. He's going up for rebounds. He's doing his best to play defense. And quite honestly, he's doing his job on the floor. If he's open, he needs to shoot the three-pointer. That's by design. Again, because if he's shooting them, the defense has to respect it. But it was 0 for 2 today from three-point land. But the reason he's on the court offensively is to space the defense out so they can't collapse on one guy. When Ben is on the floor, the defense can't send a second guy to Mihailo Petrovic, or if Andrei Stojakovic is in the game and he's attacking the rim. Ben's guy has to stay at the three-point line with them, which makes everyone else's job easy. Of course, again, 0 for 2 today. I get it. You want him to make more baskets, but I think they'll come. Just view Ben as your 7th or 8th guy. And if you do that, I think you'll have a lot more favorable impression of what Humrickhouse brings. Fox River says Ben shows more effort on defense than the rest of the team combined. 100%. I mean, he has to, just because he isn't very blessed athletically. And, he got a lot of heat last year. I'm not even saying he is an average defender now, but he's at least in the right places and he knows what to do. Whether his body can do it or not, we're not sure. C. Serena says, this may have been blessing to so Brad can hammer them hard over the next few days to make sure they start strong against UConn. Absolutely. That's what I kind of joked about earlier. Chuck says, not a great game for Kylan. He and Wagler shooting was pretty awful. No doubt about it. Ken says, I didn't see the game. Any comment on three-point percentage or lack of it? Just guys missing wide open shots, Ken. I wish it was something else. I said in the first segment, Mihailo Petrovic should have had 10 assists today. But these guys were just Wagler, yeah, as I mentioned, 1 for 6? Tomislav was 2 for 6 from 3. Colin Boswell, 0 for 4. Andrei Stojakovic, 1 for 5. Just bad shooting days. Chuck says, missed a lot of wide open shots. Wagler took some past the pro line. Kylan missed a bunch. Yeah, I think we're all kind of answering the previous question. Dre and Petro highlights for the guards. You know what, guys? It's too early because of the competition level to get too happy about Mihailo, but you guys know, my everydayers in here know that I want to get excited. Because, I know a lot of folks were saying he's not that good. Maybe that's why he's not playing. He stinks. Wagler's outplaying him. Wagler needs to start. Does Petro have a future on this team? And I just sit here day after day, week after week saying, I think so. He's passed every eye test that I've had for him. So we'll see. Rossamack says, Petro takes the team to another level. You said it, Sonny. He makes Bam and Wagler so much better because he takes pressure off them. Yeah, that's what I mean. He loves to set the table for everybody else. He's not looking to score. When he wants to score, he can. He had a really nice and one today with his left hand, by the way. He got fouled by 3 different guys on one play. Still connected. He can score if you need to, but he plays more downhill than anybody on this team since Terrence. That was Terrence's role 2 years ago. Mihailo does that, obviously in a lot shorter form. And let's be honest, I'm not trying to be mean here. Honest question. And if this is what you see, it's what you see. But I want to know, leave a comment, even after the show is over, answer this question. A lot of people keep saying, yeah, but he stinks at defense. And I've noticed that. And so every time Illinois is on defense, I watch there. I sit there and watch Mihailo play defense. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's above average. but he just looks like an average point guard playing defense to me. He doesn't look like this big minus that the detractors are trying to say he is. He's clearly not. I'm not even saying he's one of the best defenders on the team. And he clearly right now, he seems to struggle coming off screens. That's the one thing I noticed at least 3-4 times today. He was just slow coming off when he was getting screened. But that's something that you can work on. That's something you can work on with coaching. Let me know what you. Am I wrong? I could be. Maybe you guys are seeing something I'm not. I have time to watch this game again, so I probably will do that sometime tomorrow. Ross says Ben can't hit the broadside of a barn lately, but he's better as well because the pressure isn't on him this year. Jason says, let me say this much: Petro isn't taking anyone's starting spot. Keaton and Boswell will still be starting, but Petro in that second unit giving us a spark. This is why we are so deep. Yeah, he's not going to take a starting spot, but I mean, spoiler alert for a video later this week. How many minutes does Mihailo Petrovic deserve to play? How many would you play him? I think that's worth thoughts. Czar says, worried about this team's ability to get stops on the top teams. Yeah, they haven't shown it. I'm with you there. We're going to get a good glimpse of it Friday against UConn. Chuck says they could play and have played the 3-guard lineup that rivals D. Brown, Darren, and Luther Head. I mean, I hinted that earlier, right? I think a Petravich, Boswell, Wagler, 1-2-3 would give nightmares to opposing defenses because all three guys can play in all different facets of the game. They can shoot, they can drive, they can pass. Jason says, I agree with you, Sonny. I don't think Daddy Brad wanted to show everything tonight, which makes sense. You could see that in 3 minutes into this game. That, okay, this is a very vanilla offense. But at the same time, you wish the effort wasn't or was there, and that effort really wasn't. Chuck says Tommy was playing like a spectator out there. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for now. Appreciate you guys joining me. I'm going to go live immediately at Talk Illini, so find Talk Illini on YouTube. Another great game. Not great game. Great feeling because, again, I think showing Mihailo has this type of skill has to make you feel better about the future of this basketball team. Am I right or am I wrong? You let me know. Until next time, ILL. Love you.